Welcome back to Don's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. We're doing a Hyperdip video for you again because we had a few things left to do on the GMC Sierra AT4. In the last video, we did the front emblem and we did the front tow hooks in bronze, this Hyperdip product right here. Today, we're going to do the outside of the fender badges because it's not quite the right color that we have going on. We're going to do the 4 in the AT4. We'll explain that in more detail in a bit. We're going to do the AT4 on the tailgate as well as the inner letters on the GMC logo. So let's go. So first let's talk about these AT4 badges and what my plan is. Now if you watch the original video where I put Hyperdip on all these letters and the outside of the 4, the hard part was peeling out the middle to expose the red. You can score it with a toothpick or be very careful with a knife, and then between coats you can thin it out so that's where it naturally peels. Not the easiest thing to do, and for some of the spots that might lift a little more than you wanted, you can take a little paintbrush, you could dip it in some Hyperdip that maybe you sprayed into the cap of the actual spray can, and you can dip your brush and you can just paint on the spots that maybe you took a little off more than you wanted to. What we're going to do today is we're going to bronze the whole 4, all of it. We're not going to outline anything. We're going to mask this. We're going to mask a bit of the area here. We're going to spray this bronze. And then the whole number 4 is going to be bronze because if we like it, we'll leave it as is. But if we want this black border to exist again, it's actually easier then for me to mask out the new area that's bronzed in the middle here and then spray black again around the outside and then spray this black again too just to freshen it up a little bit. So that's the plan for the 4s. We're going to make them all one color. If we don't like it, then we'll put the border back on by doing a second layer of black. That might not make it in this video, but that would be the plan. So now that we talked about the side badges, which would be the same for the tailgate AT4 badge, we have the fender badges here. There's a nice little gap underneath this kind of inset piece right here, and then there's a gap right here where there's some weather stripping that just protects it from scratching the paint if it happened to shift. So we should just be able to mask just a portion of the middle here and then a portion of the body, overspray in all this area here, and then just peel off the areas that we don't want to have the Hyperdip on, leaving this in the new bronze color. Now for this emblem back here, the outside's already Hyperdipped, so I don't want to spray that again all bronze. So we're going to try, it's going to not be the funnest, but we are actually going to mask all the outlining of the letters here, and then we'll just spray the inner side bronze. It's not too terrible because there is a big enough gap here that when we mask, we're probably not going to bridge the film as we spray onto the letters. So as long as I don't do too heavy of a coat or too heavy of coats, we should be able to peel the masking tape off later and be okay. Now, if the masking tape takes some of the old Hyperdip with it, well then we're going to have to respray all of the outer edge black again because right now it's covering the chrome. So we'll see how this goes, but first we need to clean up all the surfaces with some isopropyl alcohol, get it all nice and clean. The truck itself is kind of dirty and dusty, but we're just going to clean our working areas so we can get ready to mask and start dipping. Well, I think we have everything masked out, ready to go. Got the garage door open a bit, just gonna throw on a mask, and then we're going to apply a tack coat, and then we'll do a bunch of wet coats, probably 5 or 6, and then we should be done. I just wanna show you one thing on the tailgate really quick. So right here on the tailgate, you can see we've masked everything off that we don't wanna get the Hyperdip on. This could work out really well, or it could be catastrophic, because if this tape, which is actually pretty sticky, pulls any of the old Hyperdip off on the outside, well, then we got to reshoot all the black. But we can't reshoot all the black before we have all the bronze dried and cured. So we'll see how it turns out. This whole thing might be gold if it turns out looking messy, but we're going to try it like this and see how it works out. Let's go. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. We are going to do a wet coat for our second coat. and then we'll wait about 15 minutes in between each of those until we build it up thick enough. It's important that you get the areas that you're going to peel away thick enough too. If I was to leave this thin like this on the white paint, I can't really peel that off. I'd have to rub it off and there'd be a lot of rubbing going on. So we are going to get this just as thick as it's going to be on the surface we want to have coated, so we can peel it off in reasonably easy to peel pieces. All right, we got all the coats done. We're in the final stretch. I just want to let it dry a little further, but that doesn't mean that I can't get started with unmasking all the extra paper I have to stop with the overspray. Now, when it comes to overspray, even if I got a little bit on here, I can wipe it off with a rag. It's not going to stick. This stuff is temporary. I can't emphasize that enough, but it comes up as a common question in almost every Hyperdip or Plasti Dip video that I've done in the last 3 years. So we're gonna get all this paper off, get it close to the peeling stage, and then we'll come back and let you watch. All right, we're ready to peel everything off. I chose this side for the camera work because the lighting is much better so you can follow along. We're simply gonna start slowly peeling the tape and make sure that we don't lift up anything we don't want to peel. Remember, we're keeping this part bronze. Now for spots like this here, we can just rub that off. It'll come off really easy. Okay, this one could be a disaster. Everything else turned out pretty good. We'll get this outside and look in the light and get a better idea of how it all ties together. But now we gotta peel this and hope that none of the old Hyperdip comes off, and we wanna make sure that we don't have any bleeding from the bronze inside some of these grooves and having it bleed into the other Hyperdip that's already black. That wouldn't look too good. So we're gonna slowly peel this off and see what it looks like. That worked out really well, actually. We did get a bit of overspray on the C here, but that is okay. I have a solution for that. Whenever I do Hyperdip projects, I always leave a little bit in the bottom of the can anyway, because that tends to be the part that spatters a little bit when you spray. I do have some shadow black Hyperdip left. I'm just going to cover the area I don't want to get sprayed and just put a nice little coat of black on there, and that should cover it up and we'll be good. So I just made myself a little masking area here, and then I made this little cover because I just want to get a little bit of darkness on there. Done. Okay, we're pretty much done. We're gonna do the big reveal. That requires me to take this outside. Unfortunately, it's pretty windy out there, so I'm just gonna film some B-roll outside, give you a little more exposure to what's going on so you can see how it all looks, and then we'll come back inside and end this video. Well, there we go. I think it looks awesome. Definitely a one-of-a-kind AT4 out there with all the bronze highlights. Got rid of a lot of the red ones. We got the bronze wheels. We got all the badges now. We got the fender badges. It's all coming together, except there is a really big shipment coming from the States. It just crossed the border. It's coming to Calgary, then to me over the next week or so. So stay tuned. Definitely subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. There's some great things in store. They're really going to transform the truck this year. So I'm really excited for that. But if you like today's video, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing if you're not a subscriber, and we'll talk to you next time.